I was bad at IT. Oh, Blondie, you're breaking the thing. Okay. Think people should be able to see us. Can somebody put in chat that we're actually live and they can hear us?
Woohoo!
Okay. Sorry, we don't do this very often, and as with many things on YouTube, it is really hard to do if you're just trying to do it on your phone. Hey, from England.
So cool, so cool.
Next spring, Wales.
Okay, so...
Okay, well, we will try and keep up here. Let's see. We're in the middle of planning Japan. This is very much a on-the-fly planning thing here. We decided pretty late, and we just had reliable internet now. We were using the Starlink and everything. So we are still kind of a bit in flow there. That is part of why we're spending the next 2 days gone to ground. Sore tooth was better. There isn't a tooth. I actually had something get in the socket, and that's why it was hurting for a couple of days. I can't get the implant till I go back in November, which at this point is future issues post-Japan, so not going to get to deal with that. Let's see, Marzen. We actually have a whole guide we're writing up about the Yukon and comparing it with the Mississippi. The thing that we kind of came up with when we were on the boat is that the Mississippi is more like the Appalachian Trail, while the Yukon is more like the CDT. Basically, because the Mississippi, you are hiking through all these towns and everything, or you're paddling through all these towns and everything. The Yukon, you're more out in the middle of nowhere. The Mississippi was physically harder in a lot of ways because of all the portaging. Yes, I'm going to say it that way till the end of time.
Mississippi is kind of a small natural corridor with a lot of urban development on both sides of it, similar to the AT, but they both had very dense animals, right? AT is like a green tunnel, little natural corridor with all this development off to both sides, but it's got all the Fs, it's got like turtles and tons of animals. Same thing on the Mississippi, you had lots of turtles and birds and cool critters up by the headwaters, geese and deer and stuff. CDT and the Yukon, less like density of animals, but some cooler animals, I would say. The moose were just so cool to see, and you're in wilderness for most of the time. So the Yukon was my favorite trip that we've ever done, because that's what I really love, is being out in a natural place, away from as much human development as possible, and seeing beautiful scenery and the cool animals and stuff. And so I really loved it. Versus Matt, he liked Mississippi because like there was more changing about it. There was more action. Yes, some of the action was human made, but like there were the locks, there were the towns that were cool, and there were all the cool animals and stuff too. That's right, right?
Are you talking about that glory hole that was in that one town in whatever, was that Kentucky?
I don't
Human
know.
action? Yeah, there were things that happened on the Mississippi. The Mississippi just, it was far more of everything, if you ask me. Like, the Yukon was cool, but it's hard to follow up with the Mississippi. It's more the sort of thing I'd recommend if you've already done the Mississippi and want to do something else cool. Let's see.
Nacho ramen, oh gosh.
Yeah, I saw that. We did get nachos when we got here. We got off the plane and somebody came and grabbed us, and we went for Comfort Mexican margarita and nachos. North Country Trail is on the list at some point. Right now it is tentatively scheduled for year after next, because we're off in Europe next year and maybe doing the ADT. Yeah,
I don't know. We were getting pretty excited looking at other big paddles, like the Mackenzie River in Canada, or the Danube River was an option as well.
A lot of those are too short, though. That's the thing.
No,
we want
those
to
were
spend
both
the
long.
entire. No, the Mackenzie was only 1,000 miles, so we can't spend the entire summer.
We could do the Mackenzie and then the Porcupine.
No, we can't. You didn't read the notes. Yeah, there's some issues with trying to link multiples together. Hey, Christian. Yeah, the Key West was a very, very long time ago. Still remember it finally. Hey, Alaska person. It's not that we didn't agree with the guidebook exactly. It was the only guidebook. Like, we were very happy we had it. We ended up referring to it a lot. Part of it is it was just written in like 2005 or something like that, like a long time ago. You know, so some of it was like the lower river was very different back when salmon fishing was actually a thing. We are going to do a Tater's Guide to the Yukon is how we currently have, sorry, we've got technical issue, is how we currently have the working document worded. I'm going to try and finish that before I leave for Japan. And yeah, it's going to try and be a mix of, well, this is how we viewed it, how we planned it, and our advice, because we read a couple of different accounts, and some of them were just people who do things different. Like, you know, they wanted fire every night, they wanted this, that, or the other. One person spent a whole lot of time on her firearm and wanting to have a gun with her and everything, and we're like, that's why we have
The biggest thing that I think pretty much all of the accounts that we read, including that guidebook, were missing was the section after Galena that they call the Run to the Delta. Didn't have a lot of detail on what to expect as far as the actual paddling and the actual river. It was like, for some reason, once they got to Galena, there were blurbs about the towns, but it was like, hey, what is the river going to be like? So we want to fill in that gap for sure, because the river still changed in character after that point. You still had sections with big, dramatic, beautiful, rocky cliffs off to the side. You had sections where it got really wide and really slow. You had sections where camping was easy, sections where camping was hard. So we want to flesh out all that.
It was suspicious enough we started to like wonder if a few people had actually done the lower part, because they had a lot of details up by the Tesla and everything where it was easy and mild. And then you get down below Galena and it's like, yeah, there's this town, and there's some easily Googleable information about Emonic. And we were like, So yeah, did we plant all those apple cores? We sent them out to the sea. So basically the people down at Emonic were going, why are there oranges and onions and all these things flowing by? So if any sort of ecological problem comes of that, her fault. She's the Johnny Appleseed of the Yukon, I think. Clove oil, I think of using to euthanize fish. So it's like, okay, Blondie, you've got dental pain. Put you down. That's one way to do it, I guess. I am going to chat with my doctor and my dentist. They have talked a few times about having kind of like more of an emergency pile of drugs with us. That sounds bad. That sounds like that gets you on a list somewhere. But I'm going to talk with them, since we are doing things that are a little harder to get back to a normal / local doctor, and see what I need to carry. Because, again, most of the stuff we've done in the U.S., it's pretty dang easy to get to a town, so I never worried about carrying as much, and that's kind of changing.
We carried a good amount on this trip, though, of, you know, we had ibuprofen, acetaminophen, the opioids.
Yeah, and a few things like jock itch.
Extra antibiotics.
Fungal, yeah. What did we argue about? Everything. Beaver or moose, which is cuter? I mean, we were in a divorce boat, so there were times, yeah. Yeah. Oh.
No.
Yes. No. Just stop hitting me. Yes, we always go along.
There was not much arguing. Maybe sometimes where Matt wants to go closer to shore, he's like, Jen, turn the boat closer to shore. Then I turn the boat closer to shore, and we're in a back current. He's like, Jen, turn the boat back out into the current. When you're in the front, you feel kind of powerless, right? So he says, like, sometimes it's frustrating where he wants the boat to be going one way, but it's not, and he can't really do anything about it in the front of the boat.
Yeah, I can. I can fling water at her and say, if you want a porcupine, get me over by the shore. Instead, she's out in the middle of the damn river. Hey, Fairbanks, another Alaska person. I really want to go hike in Scotland. The issue there seems to be the season, so I don't know when I'm going to make it. Yeah, no grizzlies on the Mississippi. I am used to grizzly territory, unlike the northern CDT and a couple other things. Not the biggest worry. Okay, tangent trails. Wildlife sighting numbers.
We have an animal count going. Okay, so the animal count at the end of our trip was a total of 4 bears, 23 moose, 9 of those were baby moose, 29 beavers, a whole bunch of white mountain sheep that we saw up in the distance. There were too many to count. There was 1 melanistic Arctic ground squirrel. That was an extremely cool sighting that we're really lucky to have picked out, and Matt was really good to pick up. 4 foxes, 3 porcupines, and a whole ton of birds.
So many birds. Oh no, this is going all over the place. Let's see. Oh, where'd we go? Sorry guys, we're playing catch up here. So that was wildlife sightings. Jen, are your students curious about your adventures? From Matt P.
Just a few of them. So I kind of throughout the year, every once in a while when we get back on a Monday, I'll just mention like, oh, here's I'll flash up a picture, you know, here's what I did this weekend. And most of them, they don't seem too interested because it's not something that they have the opportunity to do right now, right? It's just not a part of their life. Like they're worried about what they're gonna have for lunch and who they're gonna go to the dance with, and that's kind of the extent of their opportunities right now. But every once in a while, a few of them will think that that's really cool and they'll come up and ask me more questions. And I like to think that I'm kind of planting a seed and give it 5-10 years when they have more freedom, and maybe some of them will remember that and be like, oh yeah, that's something you can do. You can go out and explore in nature.
They'll be sitting out there in the Inland Empire being offered meth, and more meth, because that's the major outport of the Inland Empire. And then they'll go, wait, I remember Miss Blackie. She went outside. I'm going to go outside, not do meth.
Something like that, yeah.
Versus me, like with the wilderness class, everybody knows what I'm doing because I can't shut up. It's a medical conditions. Let's see. It was always good to see you excited at Animal Tracks. We are not home yet. We are currently in Anchorage. We are here waiting to fly out, and then we basically fly to Vegas. She goes to Orange County, I go to Colorado, and I wait 2 weeks until my flight out to Japan on the 24th. Let's see. So
that's me.
Yes.
So much heavy lifting. All the heavy lifting.
See, what you guys don't see is every time she's recording, it's because I harass her cruelly to record because she doesn't want to record.
Because recording is hard.
I, at one point, yes, you literally have to hit a little thing and point it. It's so difficult. Meanwhile, I'm walking up a muddy slope with literally the 2 barrels, like in each hand, yelling, it's a good thing nobody's recording now. So yes, Jen does everything. I do nothing. I have no idea how I survive when I'm solo.
I can lift the light things.
She can lift peepers.
Yeah.
Awesome video. Love that. Nice to see Matt actually doing some work. Yeah, well, blame the fact that somebody doesn't want to record. I'm a week behind. Spoilers, Jen dies. This is a replacement Jen. Oh. Are we still alive? Debatable. Is there a trail you could hike around all the Great Lakes? The North Country Trail does go up there because I looked at the Superior Trail. When I was getting out of the hospital last year, that was one of the options, was Superior and the, I want to say Okinawa now, but what are those ones? Oh, Wachita trails I was going to put together. I'll already be up at the Great Lakes for the North Country Trail, so I'm not really looking at it too closely. It looked like that wasn't going to be kind of the ideal part of it for me, just because of set campsites and everything. Yukon River was pretty cool. I did enjoy it. Just, again, the Mississippi was so top tier for me. Come to the southeast, we'll take you down the Chattooga River. So we are actually working a list trying to figure out what rivers are long enough to do them, because they kind of have to be 500, well, they at least have to be a couple hundred miles, and we need to be able to do them over a period of time because it costs a lot to get someplace. So if it's like a really cool 3 days, reality is that just doesn't work for us economically. So we are looking at things like the Mackenzie, which are longer, but that one's only 1,000 miles and she needs to stay busy for 2 months if we're going to come all this way.
Yeah, but we are looking for some shorter things, especially if they're doable over my Thanksgiving, winter, or spring break. So I am making a note of the Chattooga as one to look into. We were also looking into some in Arkansas, I think what were those called? The Current and the Jack's Fork?
The Deliverance River. You have to learn how to play a banjo.
We've looked at so much trip planning in the last 2 days.
And I have to get my teeth fixed because you need a pretty mouth to do it.
Matt.
She hasn't seen that movie. We are trying to figure out what we're doing at Thanksgiving, though, because every time I make the suggestion she's like, we have no monies, we can't go to Bonaire. So we're trying to find some non-Bonaire thing to do over Thanksgiving once I come back. And that's very much kind of an open question at the moment. Northwest Pacific Trail, that is on the list. It has the problem that it is a certain time of year, and that's like the main tentpole summer season. So we want to do it. It's not high enough to like override other things like, the Yukon, CDT, things like that. Japan Trail, it's basically, there's a coastal trail and there's a nature trail. I'm still working on memorizing them. Do you remember? Tokai
Michinoku.
Nature.
So it's one is the Michinoku Coastal Trail, and the other one is the Tokai Shizen Hodo, which is Tokai Nature Trail, I guess is what it translates to.
She's been to Japan and she pronounces things much better than me. Again, English is not my first language. I was born in Texas. It's a disability. So, but it's okay. People love when I mispronounce things on YouTube. Rivers change. Wish Taters would smile more often. Yes, she's so negative. What are we doing next summer? Next summer is the Europe. It was going to be international. I was going to be gone for like 9 months. I'm going to the Wales Coastal Path starting in March, as soon as the wilderness class is over. That's 800 miles. Finish that up and then fly over to France. She flies into France. We're going to do the Hexatrek, which is kind of this new-ish longer distance trail out there. Goes down the east side of France and across the southern Pyrenees. Try and finish that during her summer. And then I was going to go to Japan afterwards. Right now the plan is I go back to Utah and do the American Discovery Trail, assuming we can actually get water caches and things there. We'll have to see. Fires out west, it is what it is. I know people on the PCT this year, and they're not going to be able to finish at all because of the fires. How do you guys fund your trips? Jen is a full-time teacher. I am a full-time YouTuber, I guess. I have looked at like freelance IT, stuff like that actually requires more of a stable life than you would think, and a schedule. So no, it is basically teacher benefits, and then what we make off the Patreon and YouTube ads, and we get by. As far as the hate against campfires, she doesn't like campfires because she's weird. I used to do them more. She just doesn't like the smoke and the smell.
Yeah, I've never really seen the appeal. I know they appeal to a lot of people, but for me personally, they're a lot of work to make, right? All the work to like find the wood, get it going, and then like I don't like it once it's going. It's dirty, it's smoky. I don't really want to be around it and breathe the smoke.
I'm around you
and
when
then
you're
you have to
dirty
do work
and
to
smelly.
put it out afterward, and then it leaves like a kind of a big scar there. So
yeah,
not my thing.
And you got to remember, like when I'm hiking most of the time, I am either usually moving or I'm in the tent. When I get to camp, I don't want to spend 15 minutes grabbing wood and then sitting outside. I want to be in my sleeping bag because I don't have layers for being outside. Being in my sleeping bag is a part of my thermal layers. And so that's it. Just don't spend that much time outside. We do have campfires when we're teaching the wilderness class in like fire rings and Joshua Tree, for example. Let's see. Taters is their favorite human being. Oh, I'm probably way down that list. Have you found a home for your tow drinking certificates? I'm afraid to check for them. They're right now inside of our orange case. I'm thinking that we like encase them in like a diamond, thing, and we hang them in our classroom, but we'll see. Glad you got to use the sail sporadically. Let's see. So the nachos ramen didn't quite seem like it was doing the whole nachos thing for me.
Yeah, I did. So I had okonomiyaki in Japan.
What is that?
And then when I came back, I made it for you once. It's a pancake.
Oh.
It's a savory pancake. Yeah, I made it for you once.
It was so memorable, I don't remember it. Okay. Probably didn't have a story with it. You got to have stories with it. Let's see, mosquito repellent. Let's see. Recommend carrying more for Japan since the stuff you can get in Japan without seeing a doctor is on the weak side. Yeah, we are actually looking at like medical and some other things for Japan. Travel insurance. I'm going to have to get a Japanese encephalitis shot before I go. You don't need it unless you're spending a lot of time in rural areas like in the bushes, and that's what I'm planning to do. But it's okay. I'm way more likely to get attacked by a bear. The irony of surviving the Yukon and then dying of a bear attack in Japan is going to be very high. Yeah, I love when they reuse place, city names everywhere. So yeah, Galena on the Mississippi. 2 buckets of dried fish. She didn't even ask like how big the buckets were, what species of fish it was that an opening offer? I kept trying to get her to renegotiate, and yeah, this is why we have no monies and we can't go do Bon Air. We are both wilderness first aid, and we have to recertify that on that so damn often. I am sick to death of that class, and you're not going to see me going for the wilderness responder course anytime soon. Swiftwater rescue, we actually want to take more of like a whitewater paddling skills course at some point, but we have to figure out when we can have time. Am I going to go back to work and let Jen travel? Here's the thing. My career was abusive, and Jen loves her. She loves teaching, and she is highly motivated to do it, and it has good benefits. I ended up getting screwed out of retirement, had bad benefits, so it's not like we could just swap out.
Well, and don't understate, like, you're working right now. This is, he puts a lot of work into the videos. I mean, it takes at least 2 hours every morning, and then he's like, never mind like all the other social media stuff. So this is, this is him at work.
that's her opinion.
Just enjoying it doesn't make it, it's a good thing to enjoy your work. I mean, I enjoy my work as well.
I like making the videos. I hate uploading the videos though, so. Let's see, are you familiar with the 80-20 rule? I am, from like project development and things like that. Yeah, I mean, on the guide we're writing for the Yukon, the early sections, I see why people don't go past Dawson in a lot of cases. Personally, for me, there's a lot of satisfaction for doing the entire thing. I was tempted to do the glacier start at the beginning. There are reasons why we couldn't, but yeah, to me, there's a satisfaction in doing a thing. This is why, like on the CDT, I did the longer red line, not any of the like shortcut stuff. So I am more goal-oriented. She is more just oriented at doing things in pretty places.
Yeah, they're saying why not just do a shorter version?
Well, why you put yourself through it is for the view or the love of hitting goals. And she likes the views, the being in a pretty place. I like hitting goals. She will say that she is happy to do anything as long as she's with me, but she is actually a liar because I've been trying to get her to do the Rectangle of Regret Kansas Trail. We were going to get an FKT. That was the most popular videos we ever made, ironically, hiking through Kansas, not any of the pretty places. Could be
I do enjoy anything with you, but I can still enjoy some things more than others, and this trip was my favorite. And yeah, if we had the chance to do more days out there, we would, but every day getting to wake up somewhere so beautiful and so removed from the stresses of dense urban areas was amazing.
I was in Australia. There was not stress from dense urban areas. There were coffee stops. I like also how she skipped over. Oh yeah, I like doing everything, but there's a big Barry Bond style asterisk there, and that asterisk stands for but not Kansas. I liked Kansas. Were you concerned about the bear and moose? Did you spot any? Oh yes, we spotted some. On the water, they are less of a threat. We did have one bear in camp at one point, possibly two. The moose were pretty shy. It's not that it's not a concern. We're very respectful of wildlife, but we're not going to go, oh, there's a chance of bear. We're not going to go do something. But yes, we did see quite a few. Look at the question we answered a little while ago. Do you prefer paddling trips or hiking trips? I like both of them. They're very kind of similar to me. I kind of like alternating between them.
Yeah, I can't pick one over the other.
Paddling doesn't have a Kansas. So I think you like paddling trips better than
I guess there's the hiking is simpler, right? Because you can walk just about anywhere and you can carry everything on your back. So paddling feels a little bit more restrictive because like you have to manage the boat and you have to manage more gear. But generally they appeal to the same types of things, and the feeling of being on the water is absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I really like kind of alternating between them.
Yeah, the whole launching and paddling thing, that felt really nice. It's kind of a cool feeling having the boat and moving along. However, it's more stressful because hiking, you can always do something, right? You're not trapped in the water with all your stuff, going over those rapids regardless of what you want to do. If you have bad weather, it's easier to hike versus paddle. So we like doing both of them. We want to continue doing both of them. We have to see how many more long paddling trips like this exist for how much we can go back and forth. Buffalo River is actually on our list that we're working through. What are the bears like in Japan? Very problematic, apparently. They have these black bears that have been attacking people. There was some Australian, And having hiked in Australia, I know Australians are terrified of bears. Nothing else, like the dangerous snakes, they're like poking and everything, and that's fine. But bears in the US healthcare system, they were terrified by, and I'll give them the latter. So yes, Asiatic bears are going to be a bit of a risk there. Minnesota ticks wave hello. Hey, the Minnesota, we talked about this at length. Minnesota mosquitoes were actually a level above anything we saw in Alaska. That grizzly bear was pretty amazing, just the size of it. Like, we both kind of saw it and we're just sit there in stunned silence as we were like drifting by until it started to come in the water. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh no. And meanwhile, Jen is just like making eyes at it. Going, so I know they talk about the bells in Japan. At least from what I've seen, the bells are very much not effective. The theory is they make noise so you're not going to surprise the bear, so we'll see, but I do have a bias specifically against the bells. Yeah, there are grizzlies in Hokkaido. I don't think I'm going that high.
Hokkaido.
Yeah, whatever. Oh, sorry, Don Robinson. The canoe we ended up giving to somebody rather than taking a payment in buckets of fish. I was highly disappointed. But yes, it stayed behind in Mnemonic because it wasn't practical to fly it out to anchorage or anything, because it's this big, heavy thing. The bugs up there, mosquitoes were bad. They were sustained for most of the river, but they weren't as bad as Minnesota. Mino was more worried about us pedaling the Mississippi than watching you pedal the Yukon. I don't know. I mean, the Mississippi, there was never really any sort of threatening time there. Anytime we were in any of the maybe not so nice urban areas, we could generally hide out on the river. The only really sketchy time we had was when we had the bad storms and the flooding and everything. Yes, I am going to try and get her to hang the sourdough cocktail certificate up in her classroom so the students can ask. Jen is to be respected. After spending time in Alaska, do you still think the mosquitoes are worse than Minnesota? I will say yes, because we had to dig cat holes in both. So our scientific test is you dig a cat hole and you do your business over the cat hole and you look down at your inner thigh. And in Minnesota, it was literally like black. I smashed it and like you had to scrape the remains off. Didn't get that bad in Alaska. And when people talk about like the bigger mosquitoes, I actually like those because they're more satisfying to crush. Yep, Japan has become the plan ever since the ADT Utah coordinator said, the cache is burned, I can't get new caches out, you should hold off. Jen is awesome. If you want the spleed, you got to... I mention Kansas all the time. Oh, wait, never mind. He was saying that about your students. Westworld Jen has ominous considerations of Matt's health. Robot Jen? Eh. Oh, replacement, yeah. MST, my general plan is always to do the red line, and then I might come back. Like with the AT, I was not tempted to aquablaze that one section. I might come back and do that at another time. Switching between paddling and hiking tends to be a real pain just because you have to like swap gear. Like it's hard to get the canoe and everything and then switch back, but we will see. Amazon River source to see. They have those cool dolphins down there that look very scary. The Missouri, it is on our list. When we were having so much fun on the Mississippi, I did a lot of looking into it. We know some people who have done it. My understanding is it has a lot of big open like lake water paddling early on, which is kind of our least favorite part of the Mississippi. So we haven't been, it's on our list, just not really high. But if we do it, we get a belt buckle, and I'm all for doing things to get things. So everybody loves you, Jen. Let's see.
We're looking at doing if we did the crane in Jack's Fork, it would be over Thanksgiving. So there shouldn't be too many people out there, which would be nice, but it would be chilly.
Yeah, like I said, the Missouri, it is on our list to do at some point, but the problem is we just have so little like all of the good trips share the same season, and already it's a bummer. Like, this was awesome. But we already know what we want to do next year, year after, things like that. Got way too many things to do and not enough time. Glad you enjoyed the dive videos. We are doing a dive trip over Christmas. We were trying to do a cheaper one because of all the medical stuff and everything. We're going down to Cozumel and
Cabo Pulmo.
So there will be some dive videos, but unfortunately it doesn't look like we're going to be able to dive over Thanksgiving. I keep trying to get Jen to buy lotto tickets, so maybe the universe would let us go do Bonaire, but alas. And we are not big enough where like Buddy Dive will give us a room, sadly. Hey, BG, what part of Texas? So I was San Antonio, but I've got grandparents out in Fredericksburg, had others in Austin. I got family all over. Hey, glad you enjoyed the the adventure primer. Allagash River, I know that's on the list. I've been looking at so many random things. We have Google Docs up the wazoo. But yes, it is on the list to deal with at some point. Can you still taste the toe? It actually knocked onto my teeth. Jen was, I think she blanked out during the whole time because she didn't even taste the alcohol. It was basically like Fireball, like really sweet and everything. It wasn't really hard alcohol. But it was good. And then the beer and the nachos helped like offset it.
Yeah, I didn't really taste the toe, but I do still hear the song because we listen to the song pretty much every morning.
Yeah, the house song, yeah. It was just hilarious, the reaction when the guy was messing with you and go, you missed the toe jam, you have to drink it. And you're like,
yep,
really?
Good times, good times.
We were all highly entertained behind the camera. Let's see. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoy the videos that kind of show everything. I find the kind of happy social media, you know, every day is the best day things inauthentic. Those don't, they're just not very interesting for me. I mean, I can appreciate, oh, hey, the videography on this was really pretty, but it just doesn't do a lot for me. Hey, Judith. Hey, Chris. Hey, Melissa Sea Stallion. Mostly used everything we packed in the canoe because we knew basically what we needed this time. Probably the least used thing was the sea skirt, which we had gotten because we were told waves and wind were a thing. And then, like we're going to say in our guide, in actuality, when it was bad enough to need the skirt, we weren't using it, or we wanted to be off the river, not using it. The things that I wish we had brought were mostly like mosquito mitigation things, because cat holes in heavy mosquito territory are not the most pleasant. Do you guys crave toes in your cocktails now? For all you know, I have toes in this tea. Favorite restaurant in Anchorage is Simon and Seafort's vegetarian options. The one we went to so far was Pancho Villa's, which was very good comfort Mexican food. It was perfect. The margaritas came in buckets. The nachos were good. I was very happy, and I was in a food coma yesterday. Jen is cooking veggies tonight, and then we're going to try and get some Indian food, I think. We don't eat seafood, so a lot of the options seem kind of like limited. Am I bummed I didn't video the PCT? Yes, that is one of my regrets. However, I kind of came to how I video things organically. Like in a lot of ways, it was a reaction to other things I'd seen. So I think even if I'd videoed the PCT, it wouldn't be what I really would want, which is kind of how I do the videos now. Even looking back at the ECT ones, I kind of go, oh, I did them so different. They were so short. But yes, the PCT in 2020 was so unique. I do really wish I had more. Hey, Minnesota. Judith found us when we were doing the Mississippi. A lot of people found us from that one. That was one of the more popular trips. And I think it largely comes from tagging the videos to a location. I noticed with the ADT, we had a lot of growth due to that also, versus here, I was tagging like Grayling on the Yukon, which probably has maybe 10 people on YouTube. Well, they have a lot of Starlink
and
up
some
there.
of them found it.
Yeah, we did. But
we had, there were folks watching, at least in Mountain Village.
I am always kind of shocked when I remember how long ago Key West was and that people have been following us since then, because we're over like 1,000 videos by now. The Somali pirate comment, which was getting me in trouble with random people on the internet. I did see that there were wild monkeys, but at least, unlike Florida, they're not herpes infected. So buttered toast. We are going to have a spreadsheet. We usually have some sort of a cost estimate. We don't track everything exhaustively though, because we're kind of busy in the middle of doing other other things than doing the videos. We're going to have some like ballpark stuff.
Yeah, I will. I'll tabulate stuff and we'll include it in that written guide that we're going to do. Because yeah, it's good to know what to expect up here because it's very different than traveling in the lower 48, I think.
Yeah, so we will have something. The idea is basically you have the Dan guide, you look at our thing, it'll tell you how we did it. So keep an eye at First Church of the Masochists, because like I said, we're going to do a written one. I don't know if I'm going to do any sort of recorded video. I tend to be better off the cuff like this. YouTube is a lot of work in some ways. I also I really enjoy making something, and making the videos is kind of satisfying. So she treats it as more serious work than I do. Hey, Duraco, thank you. What subject do you teach? Subjects?
Chemistry and physics. I've taught different levels over the years, but all levels of chemistry and physics.
And we are volunteer instructors with the Sierra Club Wilderness Travel Course in Orange County. We teach that once a year. Let's see. Silt in the Yukon, I don't know. So silt coming off glaciers is usually ground rock. It's really, really fine and usually gives things more of a blue color. This, I'm not sure if it's actually that or if it's coming off the dirt.
I think it is. Yeah, I think that the silt is pretty much all coming from the glacier areas. And that's why some of the creeks don't have it if they're coming out of a spring that's not glacier fed. And whenever there's a big still lake, the silt will settle out. So like north or before Lake LaBerge, it was really silty. Then the silt settles out over Lake LaBerge.
Silt, effluent.
And then the section after Lake LaBerge is clear until the Teslin comes in because the Teslin is glacier fed and doesn't have those areas to settle out. And yeah, it was really interesting as we go down the river, we saw that some of the creeks coming in were very silty. Some of them were totally clear. And it depends if it's coming off a glacier and then if it had a chance to ever settle out.
It was actually interesting that we had heard that the silt scraped along the boat and everything. And that was true, but that actually didn't last the entire way. By the time we got to the bottom, that scraping had gone away. DMB, yeah, I think doing videos on the phone actually works really, really well. Like I taught myself Final Cut Pro a couple of years ago, and I use that on my laptop when I'm in town. But specifically the iPhone and iMovie works really well for basic edits. The biggest pain in my butt is just uploading. So like Trail Magic, if you come and meet me, bring a Starlink, and yes, that will make me very happy. Live stream on trail, I keep intending to do more of these. We'll see how this goes. Often the problem is we don't have reliable internet, so I wanted to do some of these from Ramona. The internet always dropped out, and connectivity is a pain. Oh, don't take opioids into Japan or I'll be arrested. Hey, I barely survived, what was it, quarantine protections in Australia. Man,
thank you,
all the
noted.
things. Let's see, Jen teaches chemistry, physics, smart cookie. The awesome videos and narration, sounds like you don't have a 9 to 5. Yeah, I was IT up until 2019 when the latest company embezzled our Social Security and did a bunch of other stuff, and I have been basically just being a layabout ever since, doing this full time, doing videos.
Laying about all over the world.
Yeah. And then on the off season, we teach a wilderness class for Sierra Club, but we do that as volunteers out of the goodness of our hearts sort of thing. So yeah, I don't have any sort of regular 9 to 5, and even trying to find off-trail work during the winter has not been overly conducive. Yeah, Kansas in August. Memorable.
Good times.
You would have enjoyed stopping at Ruby. Yeah, that is one of those that I kind of wish we'd stopped at. It took us a while to figure out kind of how to do the stops and how to kind of put ourselves out there so people would come up to us. Because like we wanted to stop and wanted to meet people, but you don't want to like bang on random people's door and go, hi, talk with us.
Yeah, so go up there, take your sun mask down, look approachable, and then like take some time to make tea or something, and then that was when we had time to chat with people. But yeah, Ruby it looked like a really pretty town, so we kind of regretted not going up there.
More corn, Blondie. I got her a positive corn. She has it hung up in her classroom.
It's really cute.
I was tempted to order like 200 of them, but again, no money, so
good job.
probably good, because otherwise we would have had a barrel of them. Next adventure, I am leaving for Japan in August 24th. How many days that is? We are trying to plan this very, very quickly. Oh yeah, the Katy Trail. Katy Trail was really nice. Hopefully you're doing it on bike. It is more interesting on bike than when you're walking.
No, but it's fun to walk too.
Oh, so they're using it to prep for a trip
Yeah,
across
that's
England.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people noticed them from Kansas videos. The views spiked, like we were getting 5,000 every video, and then it showed them to more people. And I think like tagging Garden City in some of those spots, all the locals saw it. Doroko, following since the AT days. I do not get seasick. Jen has traditionally been notorious for getting seasick. I remember being on a dive boat once, having fun, talking to like the local people, and they're like, "Oh, do you need to do anything about that?" And I'm like, "Huh?" And they're like, "That." And she was like bent over the edge, vomiting. Another time, I made sure she was okay. And then I hear laughing, and I look, and she had taken like seasickness medication, had fallen asleep sitting up, and random people were taking pictures with her and having a grand old time.
Yeah, but that's on the dive boats and stuff. I think they were probably talking about the dive
And
boats.
she's been doing
You don't
better,
get
yeah.
seasickness on the canoe. Maybe that's obvious.
Yeah, we can seasick on the canoe. Yeah, we would not be, not that sort. I do want to take Jen to the Everglades in South Florida, but I want her to do the Florida Trail with me, and I need to have a year when she doesn't have work, and we need benefits and everything. So first we need to find aunts and uncles to leave us in their will and something like that. Yes. But someday I want to get her on the Florida Trail, but it needs to be one of those high water years, because high water, the water that came up to here on me is up to here on her, which basically means her hat floating, and that would be great YouTube, I think. So, hey, I enjoyed Kansas. She is anti-Kansas.
Yeah, so we don't take it the wrong way. Like
Oh,
Kansas
no.
had a lot of things going for it that we really enjoyed about it. Because yeah, we got some comments that were like, "Oh, why didn't you like Kansas?" No, we did like Kansas. It had a lot of things that were really neat. I love some of the beautiful countryside views. I love some of the flowers on the prairie, and we met a lot of interesting people there and really nice people. But like, I gotta admit, it's a little bit hot in August. I mean, we had to spend
It was 114. Yeah, no biggie.
we had to spend some middays like where we had to stop hiking by 9 because it was too hot, and we had to just like sit in a little patch of shade in a cow field, and like every hour the shade would move, and so we'd have to get up and move and try not to sit on a cow pie and then nap a little bit longer. And then when it got to like 5 o'clock in the evening, we could hike. And also it was a little bit samey. Like it was nice, but it just kind of was like the same type of road walking for like 2 weeks.
There were plenty of areas that were perfectly nice. And for the record, cow pies, like if it's cold, you lay on them, they make good pillows and they're warm. But it was very, very warm. It was like 110 degrees. You don't want to lie on it because your head just kind of sinks into it. And yeah, not the best. She also says horrible things about Kansas when she's not on film. She's like afraid of it because like people in Kansas, very, very nice. We met nice people almost everywhere except that one very hostile town. But online people leaving comments from Kansas were really mean for some reason. We had really negative comments out like Garden City.
There was just a couple.
Yes, Jen's dragging all the equipment to shore. Thanks from Quebec. Hey, congratulations to you both from Quebec. I still need to get up there and do that IAT sections. Why didn't you bring 2 chairs and a tarp? We didn't bring chairs because we just don't spend that much time sitting around. A tarp, it's just more time to set up. Like when we get off the boat, when we drop our packs at the end of the day, we are pretty efficient as far as getting everything put away and getting into the tent. So it doesn't make sense to do a lot of the prep stuff that a lot of people do, like setting up tarps, fires, and things like that. Next hike coming up is in 2 weeks in Japan. After that, we have the off season where we're teaching a class, and then it is Wales, the Hexatrek, and hopefully the AT finish.
Murray River is on one of the lists that we're looking at. It sounded really, really cool.
Is that Australia?
Bummer is it's Australia.
Ooh, coffee.
So the bummer is it would need to be during their summer season, which is our winter season, which is when I'm in school.
I did have her get some apples because I'm not sick of apples. I will refuse to eat trail mix and a lot of other things, but apples, I'm still good.
We also got cherries and plums.
It was actually Basil that got the canoe. I don't know how Kev knows Basil, but maybe you talked about it. Tell him he owes us 2 buckets of fish because she negotiates badly. Will we be doing the Swanee again? I want to. We didn't get to start at the top. I also unapologetically love Florida swamps. I love the black water. And that's one where we can do it over Christmas, so we will do it again at some point. We just don't have time right now. Oh, Jeff and Laura. Hey, guys. Yes, to Eustachian. I am highly annoyed at not finishing the AT. It bothered me leaving it unfinished when I jumped off trail. It was one of those where I was basically like cursing myself and the universe and everything when I got off. Because I tried everything, the foot issue was getting worse. I mean, I was down with it for like 4 months afterwards. I do intend to go back, but if I'm gonna go back, I wanna finish it, not just be like road walking for credit. Are you financially planning for retirement? We have teacher benefits and what's the YouTube retirement plan? Oh yeah, poverty. But that, you know, if you get eaten by a bear in Japan, that's future Matt problems. Are you getting recognized more when you're out on trail? Are people ever taking the course because you know your channel? We've had people that came in and took the course who knew me from my website. Most people following us from YouTube are not local to Orange County, so I don't think we've ever had people who take the class because they know us. As far as recognized on trail, that has happened even pretty early on. I remember being shocked by it in Florida because people would like go, oh, you, or when I was in Canada, like cars would like stop right in front of me and people would pop out and go, Bonjour masochist, and I'm like, hi. It's kind of weird, you know, you're just posting things on the internet and people show up. I was highly amused the first time she got recognized in a Walmart though, and I referred to her as internet famous. And sometimes it's a surprise because like we get a fair amount of comments now, but the CDT videos, for example, I didn't think that many people had seen them. And then when we got out there, when I continued the CDT, it seemed like everybody I met like knew me and they're like, it's you. And I'm like, hi. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy getting to share enthusiasm with people. Jeff and Lori have given the world the best hiking teacher motivating YouTube personality ever. See, everybody really likes you.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
I'm like the third most popular person on this channel. Number 2 is Dennis. Number 1 is her. Fourth. Keeper's probably third. If you guys could settle down in one state, where would it be? Probably California for practical reasons. They treat teachers a lot better. I mean, you wouldn't believe we did some financial feasibility things as far as moving to other states, and it's kind of shocking like how much we'd have to adjust. Even moving international, there are places where we could live in a really cool place, but then we couldn't do anything. Florida swamps have a big appeal to me just because I'll only be there for 3 months out of the year. There are some other negative issues to Florida. We both like Alaska, but I mean, they took away the entire teacher pension thing. You don't get like Social Security, you don't get teacher pensions. So yeah, it's kind of a balancing act, and probably we're not going to be able to get away from our area of California, which she is in a really good district, really good school. So she's happy with that. I don't like the crowds. It's a mix.
We gave some consideration to Alaska, but it would be hard to live out of your car up here, and I do not know if I can make it through the cold, dark winters.
Lights in the sky. When we're in Southern California, Mindy W., we are sometimes in campgrounds. She's in campgrounds most of the year. When it's both of us together, we have a rental that we get down in Ramona these days. But we kind of split between those. We don't have any sort of a permanent residence. We have 2 vehicles and a storage locker. D. Rocco, we are currently in Anchorage. Jen has Hulk-like muscles after paddling for 2. I actually was having shoulder issues, and she was complaining because I could paddle on one side, and she was complaining so much about having to paddle just on the left side.
Yeah, because I was stuck paddling on the left for like 5 hours.
She has a bowling arm now, and it's her left shoulder, left core. You're going to go to yoga, and you're going to be really that strong on that one side. Is bowling core a thing? Just booked tickets to Bermuda. They have a rail trail for the entire island.
Adding it.
There are things like that I would love to do. I really, if anybody knows anybody in Yap, I would love to be like the official thru-hiker of Yap and go hike across the entire... That guy she doesn't like, he's back here. The problem is often it is cost versus how distant and how feasible it is. While it looks like, oh, you can hike it everywhere. it's a thing, like the things we do, you have to have access to stores and other things to be able to get food. I don't want to have to set out. One of the trails I looked at that Buck 30 had done looked really cool, but I'm not going to set out 36 individual buried caches because I don't have that much time off trail to set them up. But yeah, doing something like that would be cool in a spot, especially Yap. Okay, SLS Mike, you should buy lots of lotto tickets. What musical style of Taters Tuesday theme does Jen most want you to ask AI to make? She just looks like they're all ridiculous, but is highly amused. My satisfaction is I was playing some of them, and she's like trying to look disapproving, and then she came back from like taking a walk, and I could hear like she was singing along to one. So some of them are really, really catchy. That Euro dance banjo one is my current favorite. Peter Fritz, congratulations on finishing Yukon. All the videos have been amazing. Thanks.
Aw.
Have some nachos on me. Ooh, we get to go back and get more nachos. Thanks. We both really enjoyed this one. It was a lot of fun. If I sound negative, just saying I like the Mississippi more. Mississippi is my favorite trip ever. I also really like this one. It is one I'm going to be telling lots of stories about. It just didn't have quite the epic highs of the Mississippi. Yes to Simon and Seaforts, but we don't eat fish or seafood, so I don't know. Is there vegan halibut?
They said it has good vegetarian stuff too.
Fish and seafood, just I've never cared for it. It never agreed with me, and she's a vegetarian.
And once you start diving and you see how beautiful and impressive they are and their cute little faces, I think it makes it harder. I mean, even though you weren't eating it before, I think diving would have made it harder for you to eat it.
What about those sheep heads that tried to give me that like external vasectomy that one time? We could probably eat them for those reasons. I don't know. See, like we were talking about other animals, and the more time I spend around cows are pretty dumb. I feel less bad about eating them. Fish, but like I said, they just don't agree with me. BG hikes. Yeah, the Florida Trail, I think when I left Key West, we had like 40 viewers or something. It was mostly just people from the wilderness class because I had clips of snow races and things. Not a straight allergy, just like I said, doesn't agree with me, and I just don't care for it. Also, I tend more and more vegetarian as I get older because red meat and some other things, like I still enjoy them, but they don't agree with me quite as much. Started following you when you did the Swanee. Oh, hey. That was one of those trips that we had a lot of fun, but the shorter ones don't do as many views, which is kind of frustrating because like I'm really proud of the Condor Trail, unique trail, doesn't get as much advertisement, and I did the entire thing. I literally had the FKT for that for a while, and yet people don't watch that, but I do something that has videos all over the place and we see more people. So I always love hearing people like those or the dive videos. Do we get hot wearing sun hoodies? She doesn't sweat near as much. I am sweating just sitting here. They are very breathable material, so they're not really like an insulated jacket or anything. So no, they're actually part of our system for hiking in hot weather. It just gets problematic when it's really hot and humid for me. John Villette, so happy you guys made it. I found you when you were doing the ADT near my house in Maryland. The location tagging does work. Yeah, I feel like that's one of those underappreciated things people don't get. And I don't know, if I just tagged all my videos to like Atlanta, would we get more? But if you don't know, I try and tag the videos with some town near where we are. And if the feed everybody sees when they open YouTube now is algorithm based, and they seem to push videos from your local area. Can you say hi to Rob from CalChips SS? Hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Just saying, started watching us when we hiked the A Trail from Florida up past our house in New Brunswick. Oh, I really enjoyed New Brunswick. We laugh now because we've been listening to the House Guide to Canada, and New Brunswick is like...
New Brunswick, we exist.
Irving owns our land, and yeah, and there's a lobster and a bridge, and I'm like, man, not disagreeing with that. I ironically really loved the entire walk through Canada, even though a lot of it was roads and it wasn't objectively that fun, and there was that lumber crew that scared the crap out of me because it started up at like 4 a.m, 200 feet from my tent. But yeah, I really enjoyed that entire section up in Canada. I really want to do more hiking up in Canada. It's just, again, the time of year is a little difficult. Dry DJ saw us when we were going down the Mississippi. Mississippi, like I said, did really well for us because we weren't even at 5K. Because I seem to recall saying I've locked Taters in the outhouse. She can't come out till we hit 5K.
Do you remember that?
I threatened to do that here, but on the Yukon to try and hit some number, like get out of the 13s. But she would have died due to mosquito exposure in there. Next river adventure, we don't actually know yet. We have a lot of research. I've been hitting, if you haven't tried the new ChatGPT specifically, it does a really good job of pulling really obscure sources. And I've been using it to assemble some Google Docs with some more less well-known distance paddles. And distance paddling is a weird thing. It doesn't have nearly the presence that something like thru-hiking does, so they're harder to find. We only found out about the Mississippi by accident. So we don't know which one is next, but we have a lot of ideas. Favorite non-perishable snack to travel with?
Candied pecans.
Yeah, those are pretty good. I don't know. Non-perishable, so the extra sharp cheddar doesn't count. Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth on a lot of things. And snack.
And walking tamales.
See, I'm okay on all the snacks. Honestly, it's the dinners that I really like. So the coffee and the beans are my two big things, and cheese. But yeah, she does the walking tamales a lot. Oh, you can get codeine over the counter in Japan. You're an angel, Blondie, probably for putting up with me. What's going to be the next hiking trail thru-hike adventure? Starts in 2 weeks. I'm doing Japan. Doing like 1,200 miles across Japan or more. So the MST, I was all set to do it. That was the backup when I thought Utah might fall through. And then we decided to swap in Japan. It was literally, I think I brought it up as, this is a dumb idea, but we should just talk through it. Because we hope if I do Japan this year, I can still do ADT next year. The MST, Dennis did the maps for the entire thing. Thank you, Dennis. I'm so sorry that plans keep changing so much. It's all ready to go. Like, we are set. We just have to do a resupply plan and we could drop in and do it. It will happen at some point. It's a good fall trail, but we will probably do it as kind of a fill-in later. Did look fun though. Mr. Leaky Canoe. Hey, Bill, how's it going? That's why you knock on random farmhouses in Kansas. That's how you find an aunt to leave you their house. I was terrified. Some of those farmhouses when we were knocking was highly nerve-wracking because we're out in the middle of nowhere. I'm hiding because I'm looking all bushy-bearded and everything, and I'm trying not to look threatening. So we send her up with her pigtails. Hi! And we couldn't get, some people wouldn't answer. We're pretty sure they had to hear her, but they were just like, we're in the middle of nowhere. Somebody's out here. We don't trust people being in the middle of nowhere. We got the cops called on us 4 days in a row in Kansas. All we were doing was walking down the road, and they're like, that ain't right. The police were nice enough. They showed up, and they're like, we don't know. You guys okay? We're good. We told them, like, it's not illegal for somebody to eat a tamale on the side of the road. It's her with that distressing face. But yes. Jen, snorkeling the Florida Trail has so much comedic value. Yeah, it'll basically be the hat floating. Oh, and now you have more hats. I'm really excited because I bought her more hats. So everybody who's like, oh, Jen, she has great shirts and everything, what you guys don't get is she doesn't ever like spending money or buying anything. So I'm always like buying her stuff. She's disapproving, and then she likes it, and everybody else is positive. So I just bought her 2 hats because hers were falling apart. So I think you've got otters and some pretty one that's like very Alaska Aurora-ish, I think.
Thank you.
You don't have to apologize. Feels like it hit 130 near the Katy Trail. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I remember it being pretty warm. I was in that coffee shop in my underwear because it was so warm and humid that time. The Mennonite girls really enjoyed that, though. I noticed that they were trying to make coffee and they were, like, missing the cup and things. And I'm like, oh, hey, this is what it must feel like to have cleavage. Think about canoeing the Koyukuk River Brooks Range to the Yukon. I have looked at a couple of the other smaller rivers. The guidebook has a couple. There's a few that I would like to do. However, we have to see if we can chain multiples together. Like, the advantage here is we had all of our costs, which was getting out here, getting the boat and everything. And then we went from A to B, and we didn't have a lot of more costs till we came to the end. So the trick is finding 2 of them. Like the Mackenzie looks like a shoe-in, looks great, but it's 1,000 miles. And then we have to figure out how we get the boat from the end of one to the start of another, and that's where it gets complicated. There was another in Saskatchewan that we were tempted to do, mostly because there was a Arrogant Worms song about the last Saskatchewan pirate that we both used to really like before we knew what Saskatchewan was. Now we know a lot more about Canada because we've been listening to the House Guide to Canada a lot. Those were our packing songs every day. I just couldn't put them on the video because every now and then somebody threatens to sue us. Seriously, the French tried to sue us over a skunk once. Started watching when you approached Kansas City on the ADT. We live 2 miles south of the boat in your video, the one with the home toilet that somebody dumped on the side of the road. Yeah, you know, that's just rural America for you. It's all good. Lorene from Wichita, hey. Begacle, yes, North Country Trail. It's big on my list because it feels like one of the last big ones to do. After I finished the Triple Crown, it was kind of like ADT or North Country were the 2 big ones that I kind of was fixated on. And it was like, well, do I want to cross the entire U.S. or do I want to cross just part of the U.S.? And the answer is I want to do both. But yes, I am excited to do the North Country Trail at some point, particularly because it's fun to do videos for things that are rarely kind of shared. Same reason it's fun to do the Yukon. Wander 360, have you considered paddling the Woodland Caribou Provincial Park? So I think I've heard of that. Some of the places like Boundary Waters, the problem is like we like traveling A to B. We like being able to resupply along the way, and we need to be able to spend 2 months. It is going to be hard. We fit 3 weeks of food onto that canoe. We could not fit 2 months of food onto that canoe. I might run short on Jelly Bellies and coffee, and that would be a shame. Do I follow Ryan? Oh, Constantine and Magpie. I know Constantine. I ran into him on the Florida Trail. We didn't talk, and then I did his podcast. Neat guy. He was one of those guys that I always wanted to keep contact with, but I'm always running around. I'm not sure if he's active anymore. So, yeah, I'm bad about following anybody online. I have a few friends like Bop It that I know from other trails that I kind of see on Instagram from time to time, but I don't watch videos. And all of my podcasts are non-hiking related. A.B. Woodone. I've been around since the AT days. Always loved the content. Thanks. You should still consider the Sheltowee. Yeah, the Sheltowee Trace. I heard the dogs are way better now. There are a lot of areas like southern Ohio where they've dealt with the dog issues. It is on my list to do at some point. It's just a lot of these shorter ones like Ice Age, Bigfoot, Centennial Trail, heck, the Deseret Connector doing the AZT up to Canada. There's a lot of things I'd like to do. It's just we only have so much time in a given year because there's so many things to do, so little time. It's a matter of when we can fit it in. Often something like that is going to be some sort of a kind of like backfill. For example, the Vermont Long Trail, the Bartram, Benton, and Foothill. I'd gotten out of the hospital. I thought I could fit in a couple of trails, and then we went with it. So I have a huge planning document that has a lot of notes on a lot of different trails. And yeah, there's not something like dogs aren't going to keep me from doing it. Congratulations from Santa Cruz. I watch your videos every morning before work. Hey, nice area. I was only joking about Jen bringing all the gear to the shore. Hey, if it doesn't happen on camera, it doesn't happen, right? If you don't get a selfie at the top, you haven't done the peak. St. John's River in Florida. We did do one other.
We're getting a new list going just from this.
Okay, but you got to do all the notes and figure out how long they are because they're going to suggest things that are like 20 miles, and that we need long ones. Wonder why you didn't rent a car in Kansas and have Jen slack pack you and hike overnight and sleep during the day. That heat was no joke. Honestly, didn't slack pack because I talked about this. It's just not for me. I found out about thru-hiking by running into these dusty thru-hikers, PCT hikers in the Sierra Nevada. And it just struck me as so cool that they went from Mexico to Canada with just the stuff on their back. And to me, slack packing makes it feel like day hiking. And I did that for years, and I was unable to thru-hike. So there's not really any appeal for that. Also, we like being kind of unbounded by cars or anything. Jen was kind of supporting me from a car during the early COVID period on the PCT, and it helped us do it when we were very unsure about what was going on. Things were very dynamic at that point. Nobody knew what was happening, and I appreciated that, but yeah, I don't like the being supported from a car thing. What was the protocol for Yukon grocery stores? Did you have to take off your muddy boots? I never did. No, some of the places in like Emo had those boot brushes, but it's not like Vermont where there's like mud season and they threaten you with $250 bills if you don't take your boots off. Are y'all into caves and caverns? Did some caving years ago, kind of stopped when I had my knee issue. But yeah, we've done some like 8 or 10 hours underground cave things. Really cool. It's one of those things we would like to do more of. As always, there's a lot of things we'd like to do more of, and time, money, etc., etc.
Crystal Chiricahua was the coolest one that we did.
Cave of the Bells
they're
was pretty
super cool. I love them, but it's they're a bit harder to do because they're generally not open access, with good reason, because the ones that are open access have been trashed. And so getting to do caves usually involves like getting to know people in the area first and making some connections with their local caving club, and then you learn how to get access to the caves. So that's mainly been the limiter on why we haven't done more of them.
Yeah, and sometimes you do all that, you get the key, you show up, you're camped outside the cave, and then at like 1 o'clock in the morning, your friends start screaming, Matt, it's biting me. And then it's a skunk bite. It's a whole thing. So yeah, complicated. Let's see, just tuned in, sorry if it's addressed, but the remainder of the ADT from California going east, is that an option? It's an option. Honestly, I've got my own like hang-ups where I just kind of prefer to do things a certain way, and I already don't like that I'm non-continuous on it, but I want to feel like I walked from A to B. Any of the flip-flop plans, like it's really popular on the CDT that people start northbound, realize their mistake, flip to the top, come south. It starts to feel like gaming the system. I like being out there. I like being on trail. I'm always after that kind of middle section of the trail where I don't have to travel or jump around or anything. So it would be easier if I did starting in California and went over as far as winter conditions and everything. But since when do I do it the easy way? Florida swamps have Burmese pythons and gators, and also swamp Floridians. They're a thing. I've had to hide from all of those at times. How about a Nunavut canoe trip?
Nunavut!
Polar bear, look for polar bears before you pee.
It sounds awesome. We will check out those rivers.
Polar bears before you pee. Yes, let's get Jen eaten by a polar bear. Her last words were, "Oh." That guy you don't like's outside the window.
Wait, scroll up. I need to add those.
Nunavut canoe trip.
That comment. Okay.
Yeah, seasons are a thing, but like northern spots seem like they work. Keep in mind that some of these things, getting the canoe to the start can be an issue. I know a few of the like porcupine type rivers, going to the headwaters is a lake, and you can get there via float plane, so it's expensive, and you basically need a folding canoe instead of like a real boat. How does Jen feel about not having a permanent place to stay during the school year?
Trade-offs. So given the choice, I would generally rather be outside than inside. Anytime I had an inside place that I had to go back to, it felt kind of like an anchor. Like I always have to go back to the same place at night. I have stuff there, like I have to go back and get my stuff. So I much prefer the freedom of like, you have all your stuff with you, you can go wherever you need to go, and you get to be outside at night. The downside is because there's not that many campgrounds around my school. It's like a half-hour commute morning and night to get from any of the campgrounds really to school. So that's the biggest downside. But for now, it's worth it to do that, to get to be outside.
I laugh because I had 2-hour commutes each way when I was in IT before, so like half hour is not much of anything. But yeah, the biggest bummer of the campgrounds are just that they are busy. Like if there was BLM land we could get out on where we were away from people, that would be one thing. The amount of traffic noise in Southern California increasingly drives me crazy. Also, when she says having all of her stuff with her, picture a Mazda 2 packed with like hobo levels of things.
Hey, I keep it neat, and I don't have Mazda 2 anymore.
When you got rid of the Mazda 2, was there not mold where your yoga pants went in there? Oh no, we're not talking about that on YouTube. Can we edit this? Oh. Just found your channel at the start of the Yukon. Lots of catching up to do. The cut lines you camped and you presume were fire breaks may have been for mineral and oil exploration. Oh, that's interesting. We were told they could be trap lines. We're curious. They did seem like they existed more around the cities. I was also wondering, were they like clear channels for getting places and snowmobiles or things? If anybody ever finds definitive answers, we are interested in that. We got multiple appearances from that guy she doesn't like. He gets around. That guy's frequent flyer miles have to be very high. Mina, love all the adventures you do. Aw. Have you been to Japan before the trip? Have you practiced the language? No, I am bad even at English. I have done very little traveling when I was young. We moved out to California, and any of the traveling I did with my family was back to Texas to visit family. So we have been in catch-up mode. I mean, I think the first major time, the first time I was out of the country was Thailand, where I went for 2 months to do my scuba diving thing.
Hey,
so,
Mexico counts.
yeah. The first real time I'd been out any place other than Mexico. So no, never been to Japan. She went as part of a school thing. It was what, like the Japanese club parents took you or something like that?
Japan Business Association, yeah, they did a special trip for teachers and took us out to Japan for 12 days, and we did school visits and tourist stuff, and it was really neat.
I have a picture of her with a samurai sword and a kimono that is going to get used a lot. I just don't know if I can go any place that will give me a samurai sword and a kimono. Ooh, maybe mine should be more Breaking Bad style. Samurai sword, tidy whities. Tidy brownies, because I'd be hiking and they don't stay white. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway.
Have I practiced the language? No, I'm going to be relying on Google Translate. I am thinking of having a few statements like, no seafood, coffee, please, things like that. The fancy farm wife. Ooh, fancy. Thanks. Any dive trips planned? We are doing Cozumel and Cabo Pulmo over Christmas. I would love to be going to Bonaire again, but Thanksgiving, we're not sure we can swing getting anywhere affordable this year. Cows with guns. Yes, I used to. That is on my oddities and awesomeness playlist, along with a lot of other things, hence why I start belting out, gotta stop touching the children sometimes, and then she reacts like that.
That's not a normal song.
Macron never carpooled with me again after that one. He laughed a lot, though. Hi, guys. Been following you for several years now after finding your website linked from Peakbagger. Oh, yeah. I used to put my trip reports on there. Congrats on finishing the Yukon, enjoying some great scenery. Thanks. The ADT is not this year, though. The ADT is now moved to next year. Yeah, Peakbagger, if you're not aware, it's an awesome website for us goal-oriented recreation people where you could track all your peaks and it would put them up on a map. Back in the days when that was harder to do, so I would put everything up on there and use it to kind of target new areas. And before we started doing this, I've done a couple of hundred peaks across desert, Sierra, etc. Do you purchase gear from Garage Grown Gear? I do sometimes. Honestly, if I can get it on Amazon, I get it off Amazon because it's easier to track returns and not having things coming from every direction. I did email Jolly about looking for a particular color of shirt when they went out of stock, and he sent me to Garage Grown Gear because they had more stock. So yeah, I have purchased from them and pretty much everybody. It's just so much easier to do it on Amazon. My buddies and I go to Bill's Fish Camp at the end of the Swanee River now since you guys stopped there. I never knew it was there and the fishing is great there. I would actually have to look which one Bill's Fish Camp was.
I remember that. Yeah, that's cool.
Which was that the paddle in, like developed camp we did? When it was freezing cold?
I was thinking it was the thing at the end, where we stayed at the end.
Oh
by the
yeah,
ocean.
that, okay. Yeah, that worked out way better because we got there and it was getting dark and I'm like, oh, I have no idea what we're going to be doing. And I have bad associations with like the sun going down in Florida and not having a place to stay. I've ended up in $300 very, very bad hotels before. Wouldn't sleep on the bed, they were that bad. Been watching you from the ETT. Thanks for the entertainment in this crazy world. I mostly watch creators anymore. Thanks for not being a sellout. Aw, that's nice. I mean, I'm not worth enough that anybody would pay me to sell out, but we can assume that I have morals and would not sell out, even if I was offered something more than 2 buckets of fish. Once again, I would have taken that offer. Any plans to do any hiking in Iceland? I have a friend who used to go on about Iceland in some ways that Blondie won't let me repeat on camera. I would love to. The problem with Iceland in particular, like the IAT is in Iceland, but it's like little spit here and a little spit here. There are things that make more sense to do as a tourist. Being a tourist is expensive. I have time, but not monies. So Iceland, you need less time, more monies.
Well, I think there's a chance, though. Sometimes it'll make sense to combine with other stuff in Europe.
It's not like you just take like a day ferry out. I mean, you're talking about... I'll remind you of that. I'll price. Let's drop Matt off in Iceland. Matt Golden, love you guys. Aw, thanks. Winded Gen X Adventure, nice name. Did you guys leave your paddles in Alaska? No. So the mayor of Emo, personal friend of Miss Blondie here, mailed them out for us. We have to get them from here, and we're shipping them back. We love those things. I actually need to send an email to Bending Branch. They repaired them after some issues on the Mississippi, so we're fully expecting them to repair them. We love those. We want to keep them. We even like the replacement paddle we got from Dawson. Chris or the Eek. Yeah, I love Iceland. I would love to do Iceland. That's one of those places. Any of like the Nordic area too, I would love to hike across. It's just time of year, and some things are very expensive to get out there. I mean, heck, that was like a part of our issue with Bonaire. I've got Bonaire on the brain. We were there the last 2 years. Really missing it. Would you prefer paddling the kayaking archer? Would you prefer paddling low water full of weeds or deep silty water? I thought of you this week as I paddled a local chain.
No brainer. Deep silty water. It's the satisfying motion of the paddle moving through the water. You don't get that satisfying motion if you're trying to push yourself along and sinking into the sand.
Yeah, and low water makes me think of the jungle gym in Minnesota, which was an accomplishment, but rather tiring at the time. Have you considered hiking the Knoll Trail in the Northwest Territories? I don't think so, but we really like the House Guide to Canada, so any excuse to hike in Canada. Again, the bigger problem is time of year, and grizzly areas kind of annoy me because it messes with my morning tent procedures. How did Jen and I meet? Rock climbing class way back in the day, like 2009. Not quite Dinosaurs and Ronald Reagan, but...
Shout out to SCMA.
Yeah. Been following since Key West, since I was looking for info about it from Canada. Didn't know it was conducive to hiking. Key West is not conducive to hiking, but you know, you can survive it. But you can go back to buy Honda anytime you want. Yeah, Key West isn't as bad for hiking normally. It was a bad year to be there in the middle of COVID and everything. When I talk about going back and doing the Florida Trail with her, we're going to start at Robinson Lake, not doing the Keys Walk again. Current favorite walking shoe. She's got feet that are non-problematic, so she does these gel Asics. Mine are very particular, and New Balance Hero V9s. I just bought 3 more to get through Japan. I have wide, problematic size 14 feet. They're a real pain in the butt. Bigakal, you two should consider the Greater Patagonia Trail. Some of those require guides. I'm not the biggest fan of like porters or guides or anything, because it kind of...
No, I don't think that's a guided one. I think I've looked at that. It's more the same concern about like long distance to travel versus shorter trail, but I think it's in the consider list.
Jamie Myers, looking forward to seeing you in Japan instead of the ADT. Should be interesting. I am highly nervous about it at the moment because we're pretty sure it's viable, but we had to commit to buying a ticket to get me out there and a bunch of other stuff. PB Canal started watching because of, I thought that was Barebacker Radio, and I'm going to go, that's a different podcast. But no, Backpacker Radio. Yes, that one makes sense. That was a lot of fun to do. They had invited me a couple of times, and I kept going, I'm on trail. I can't. It was like a 4-hour drive when I was deathly ill from the Australian Hantabola thing. But I had fun. I was really happy to go do that. Matt, when you hike Japan, make sure you come back mastering your bow. Is that a euphemism?
Your bow.
Oh!
You bow when you greet people.
That makes more sense. I have Bonaire and some other things on the brain. Don't mind me. I haven't had enough coffee today.
And you're going to have to bow pretty low because you're probably going to be taller than most of the people there.
Yeah. Then they can read my hat. Oh, yeah, that's a marketing opportunity. Yeah. Started following y'all when I was scouting the Lone Star Trail. Paranoid about norovirus. Yeah. That one was just crazy. Like, I kind of knew what it was when I started, like, spewing everywhere, but I survived the entire AT and other hot spots, never had it, and then the frickin' Lone Star Trail in December. Believe it or not, interesting scuba diving in Iceland. Oh yeah, the continental plates coming together. Yeah, that is on my list, though I will say I've become exceedingly wimpy about cold water diving. We met some people on the Palau trip that won't dive below, what was Dan's limit? Like 78 degrees or something. And I went from going pshaw to, well, yeah, there's a point to that.
Dry suit thing, kind of a big barrier.
Yeah, well, but even in a dry suit, like you still have cold bits there. But yeah, the continental gap dive in Iceland was on my bucket list for a long time. Anna Martina says hi, hello. Duarte Liberie says hi, hello. I met some, Jesse Cardy says, I met somebody who's close to finishing the Mountain Cedar Trail on the Outer Banks Ferry. Yeah, it looks interesting. I had looked at doing it after the hospital. I said no at the time because I was looking for something that was just very straightforward that had camping, and I was worried about the cost. Excited to do it at some point. The problem is I'm excited to do so many things. The Bayou Trail, for example, I just saw that pop up on Far Out, and I'm like, oh, I want to go do that. And a bunch of weird ones like the Middle State Trail in Pennsylvania, and it is ironic that I never got to do any of this thing because I was working all the time and had no time. Now I do this full time, and there's still a limitation because I have more opportunities. What happened to the French canoeing team, aka Team Macron? We don't know the whole deal. They split up at Yukon Crossing. At least one of the boats worth of people left. We heard they finished. Word on the river, it was kind of mixed as far as who they'd seen and who they hadn't. I was actually going to ping them and try and see. As far as I know, some of the people did finish. We are going to wait and see when their documentary comes out and see if there's like a bright orange spot in the background, when they went by us.
Yeah, we never saw them again past Circle. We were kind of thinking we might see them again at some point because at least at the beginning they were taking more time in the towns and stuff, like interviewing the people, and they were doing some kind of science experiment, I think. But it seems like they sped up towards the end, and yeah, they passed us around Circle, and we never saw them since.
Yeah, we don't know how much of that they were doing and how much was just, okay, we needed like footage of a thing, like, because they didn't seem like they had a set schedule when they needed to be everywhere. But as far as we know, they did finish and fly out. Jeff Hatton, love your adventurous videos. Thanks for sharing. That's nice of you to say. Was the grizzly bear the scariest part?
Scariest?
It was a mix of scary and cool.
It was not scary. It was awesome.
She would have been going, so cool, as the grizzly bear like ate her. It was so captivating. Cool. It was cool. We were just kind of like in awe, silent. The one time I got nervous was when he started to step into the water. You could see him sniffing, and it looked like he was coming closer. And I did worry briefly there. He wasn't acting aggressive, though. Like, he never stood up, roared or anything. And keep in mind, we were on the water. Like, that shot is way zoomed in. I'm normally on the 1x to 1.5 zoom, and he was probably on 4 to 8 or so. So we were close enough to get to enjoy him, but not so close where it was like, ah! Except when that bear was close to the tent. And then I was in my headphones, so I didn't notice it. Let's see. Add the Allegheny River to Ohio to make it longer and avoid starting in urban Pittsburgh. Okay. So make a note of that. I'm really excited to do the Ohio River. We have some friends out there, and just when I crossed it on the ADT, it was giving me Mississippi vibes. So I haven't looked much into the practicality aspect. The thing with a lot of the rivers is it's not clear. Like the Mississippi is special because you can do the entire thing. There are towns along the way. It's passable in a boat, and you have pretty good paddling. There's things like the intercoastal waterway that kind of fascinates me because I didn't realize that was a thing, but it's not good paddling because of all the waves and boats and things. So yeah, there's a lot of things like that we'd like to do, and we kind of research them when we have time and we're not in a panic trying to figure out how to help me survive Japan. Celeste Reese said, hi, hello. Do you wear permethrin treated clothing in tick country? Yeah, big fan of permethrin. I didn't carry any extras, so like we were okay early on in the mosquitoes. And then after a couple of weeks, it starts to wear off, particularly in the shoulders. If I had more planning time, I would have done the insect shield treatment, which supposedly lasts a little longer. Or when we're on trail, like when we were on the CDT, we were able to find it on trail and reapply. But permethrin and barrier method are kind of our preferred ways of dealing with mosquitoes primarily, and then, yeah, ticks. If you don't have permethrin, I still have survived plenty in tick country. You know, I didn't really use it on all the AT sections where I was worried about the little ticks. When we were in things like the Condor Trail, where you had the hug bug ticks that are kind of big, those are actually better because you just kind of feel a tickle, so you can usually get to them. Would we paddle the Missouri River? Yes, we would. I'm not convinced that it is high quality as the Yukon or the Mississippi, based on some little details I've heard from other people. It's a lot of like big open flat water versus more of a river section, I think primarily in the beginning. So it's on the list, just not super high. The Fred Fisher, when are you going to finish the Walk Across America? Was going to do it in 2 weeks. However, the fires in Utah closed it, so we're switching to Japan and hoping to do it next fall, assuming, Western states fire situation. I do so enjoy both your travels. I wonder how you can just ramble on different subjects while walking. Yeah, well, anybody who knows me knows that I talk too much. You do a 4-day trip in the Sierra, you don't get quiet until like day 3 when I've run out of all the topics. But
one of the classic moments was when someone asked Matt, how do you stay sane when you're hiking all by yourself? And he just immediately off the bat goes, oh, I talk to myself.
I talk to the little man on the little glass. I don't think about it that much. She is just exasperated because she stresses out. She wakes up, she doesn't sleep well before Taters Tuesday. She's a ball of energy. What am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? And I try and give her my advice, which is, well, I take the phone, I kind of go like this, open my mouth, and then see what comes out. And apparently I just talk way too much. So said every parent, girlfriend, acquaintance, etc. in the history of everything. Estimated on when the first videos start, Sign the Needy from Peoria. We'll have a couple of videos in the meantime, but Japan, I fly in on the 24th, so it'll at least be a couple of days after that. Kind of figuring it's going to be like the Australia one, where I'll have some precursor touristy things, but we'll see. What was scarier, ticks in Minnesota or the bears? I mean, we didn't really have many bear issues in Minnesota. Both of those are just kind of things we're used to dealing with. There are people that won't hike because it's a bear area. And we just kind of follow best practices.
The bears are not scary. The bears are awesome. The combo of the ticks and mosquitoes in the very beginning of the Mississippi and Minnesota was pretty scary.
Yeah, I mean, the ticks were just giving me condor flashbacks, but the mosquitoes while trying to dig a cat hole were horrific. Annie Donnelly, congrats on the new school year.
Thanks.
Meant to start at 8, but my friend had her baby. Oh, that's
Wow.
not an excuse for missing class. Can probably have more kids. I have a lot of friends who keep spitting out kids, and it's you know why that's happening, right? Whiteboard, diagram.
Congratulations to your friend.
Seeing Chris abroad? I don't know who Chris is. Have you ever considered going down the entire intercoastal waterway? When I found out that the intercoastal was a thing, I was briefly tempted. However, we paddled across it, and it was really choppy and unpleasant. And then I'm I've always wanted to ride a jet ski. Could I ride a jet ski on the intercoastal and then jump on a trail and go? And then people had to tell me that jet skis suck, and yeah, it's a whole thing. So yeah, I would kind of like to, because it kind of fascinates me that is a thing. Like I said, coming from Texas and out west, I didn't know about it. Haven't figured out how to make that work. Maybe if we get that sailing license thing. Still love the Jen song. I am highly amused by those. I was having a ball on the beach making a bunch of them on Suno. I'm really worried that they're going to guardrail AI into not being useful. I have about 20 more. I'm trying to do Taters Tuesday Volume 2. Then I have to go back and do Volume 1, showing them all off, because I've got way more that I can't use because Miss Taters is going to be gone. Do you ever get truly mad at each other like a silent afternoon in the canoe? If you ask her, she would say, no, we always get along. And then I would be back here where she couldn't see going. There are times when there are disagreements. We have both been through a fair amount with each other. We kind of know how to deal with it. She gets kind of snippy and then later denies that she's snippy and then throws things at me if I mention she was snippy. You kind of just have to learn to deal with it. Sometimes you put on your earbuds and you listen to something and just, yeah. The guy she doesn't like is hanging out outside the window. Love watching your guys' journey. Why isn't Taters Tuesday potato themed? Deep cut Taters Tuesday. Her trail name has nothing to do with potatoes. It's about boobs. It's a thing. Look up the original story. But I do need to make more Taters graphics because that worked.
Deer ran off with my sports bra. That's the whole story.
Chewed it. Well, she ran after it going, ah, and I'm like, ah. It was great. Can't wait to hear the next evolution of the Taters Tuesday song. Oh, I have so many genres. Like I said, I'm literally need to do like a Taters Tuesday volume release set so people can actually hear them.
Please stop encouraging him on the Taters Tuesday theme songs. He has way too much fun with them as is. Hours on the beach are only like 2 hours of starling time that day. Spent the whole 2 hours generating AI songs.
And that's how we got the electric banjo one that was stuck in your head for days. I need to make that like an hour-long sort of thing that never ends, kind of like the goat step. Oh, can we do a Taters Tuesday goat step? That's what we need to do. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to YouTube and Google goat step. It's a goat cover of a Gunter and the Sunshine Girls song. Also Google Gunter and the Sunshine Girls. Your tra-la-la, my ding-ding-dong. Deep musical cuts here.
Anyway,
classically educated musician person, and then there's me. I play a ukulele sometimes. Thank you, Taters, for taking a stand on hating Kansas. Oh, careful. You are going to tick people in Kansas off. They get really mean in the comments. Let's see. Impressed by your in-view, so hard being asked questions. It's easy. I like talking. Honestly, I find these easier to do than sitting there and going, okay, I need to answer this question about something because I'm afraid I'm going to forget it and I'm trying to like look at notes and whatnot. Have you ever thought of hiking trails in the mountains in New York? Yes. I actually met with somebody who'd been following us for years when I was on one of the trails out east. And we were talking about the Finger Lakes Trail and some other things out there. Again, it's just those little shorter trails and figuring out how to make it work economically with flights and all the approach trails. I mean, like for all the hiking I've been doing, I've never been to like trail days or the Florida trail days. I really want to go to the Florida trail one that's in January, but it's expensive to go like all that way just for a short little thing. Happy helping plowing through the fallow ground in Joseph Jacob's favorite son, Field of Dreams. Okay. Why do you call the cute brunette Blondie? Because when I first met her, she was swimming a bunch and she had pigtails and the end of them was kind of blonde and she would just giggle at everything. So I just started calling her Blondie and probably exasperation or something. Have you thought about canoeing the Red River all the way to Hudson Bay? Don't know what the Red River is, but we can add that. Northville Lake Placid Trail. Yes, that is one of those. We also want to do the North Forest Canoe Trail. I was excited about that one. Then she found out that one you have to paddle against the current, and she's like,
not our thing. Yeah.
Hello from Eastern Oregon. Oh, that's where Knitting Nana is. Eastern Oregon, I have actually done some stuff out there. It's the deserty part of Oregon, and I had to explain to her because her view of Oregon was the really, like green, lush area, and I'm like, because I was in Boise for 5 years due to work, and I would go out to, there's a rocky area. I'm drawing a blank, but it's right over the border into Oregon, so I would be in East Oregon a fair amount. Always a balancing act of time and money. So many cool places to explore, so little time, so little money, and we don't know when any sort of health thing is going to take us out of it. Amazing hot springs. Yeah, we'll see. Might be really rainy, so I don't know if I'm really going to be wanting to get even more wet. The Superior Hiking Trail, looked at it. That is part of the North Country Trail, so I didn't want to do it separate since I was going to do it there anyway. But I did come kind of close because we have some friends from the PCT, LJ and Bilbo, who are out there, and they were willing to give me a ride and everything, and it would be good to see them. I'm really bad about keeping up with trail friends because I'm always out on trail. Great-grandpa walked down the shore of the Ohio to southern Illinois with my great-grandma on a flatboat. Love your videos. Thank you for all your time. Thanks, Sully. Annie Donnelly, can we talk about the cute lizards on Jen's shirt?
Yeah, so they're called Red Efts, and on the Appalachian, they're the iconic thing for me from the Appalachian Trail. On the Appalachian Trail, they are all over, especially after it rains. They come out so thick, it's like a carpet. I mean, we're walking so slowly and carefully, trying not to step on them because they're all over the trail and they're so cute. They're like this big, they're bright orange. The way they move, I love them. And so Matt was so happy when he saw that this shirt because it's like the iconic AT thing.
And she didn't want me to spend money, and I'm like, no, and I bought it, and then she was really happy. This is her second one because the first one went. And no, we are not sponsored. Nobody cares about us. We are tiny, so we have to buy it like everybody else. But yeah, it's. I don't really like the town shirt, hiking shirts quite as much because we usually do the button-ups with the pockets and everything. But it's a cool pattern. She loves that shirt. I actually have a literal town button-up shirt that's the same thing. Judith Henderson from Pennsylvania. Hey, Pennsylvania Mid-State Trail at some point. It's one of those that very few people seem to know about, and those always appeal to me more. That's why I like the Condor Trail. Melody Henry, have a great year. Thanks. Why do you call her Blondie? Again, it's because her hair used to have more of like a blonde sheen when she was in the pool all the time. Plus, she was always giggling. And like plopping down in her stomach, like just kicking her feet and looking at me and my friend Jack and going, yeah, so if you do more hikes, you can invite me.
Okay, I think
And
I
we were
said it
like-
way more tactfully than that.
She did not. She has gotten some tact in her advanced age, but no, she did not. Believe me. Jack is one of the calmest people. Do you remember when he practically leapt out of the back seat because he thought you were about to flip us down into 9 Mile Canyon? Oh, that guy you don't like. So
You're-
there again.
Telling the stories wrong.
I agree, bears are awesome. Jen should talk more on video. She only talks so much because I harass her all the time.
I've come a long way though. Come on.
Yeah. Versus when I would just point the camera at you and you go, and then you would lecture me not to say that on YouTube, and then people started liking when you said don't say that on YouTube. So now she freezes, but she tries not to freeze too much. She wants to just be a default reaction.
Don't react. That's the key.
Just like, Max Golden book recommendations. I have so many I go through all the time.
The
Expanse is
Expanse
good,
is the favorite thing I've read in at least the last 10 years.
Dungeon Crawler Carl? Donut?
Oh my god, no comparison.
The Expanse is good. Their other book has not been as good, but Jacob Morian. Hello, really enjoy watching your videos. Thanks. Jen, does any of your students watch the YouTube channel? She did answer that she doesn't not share it, but they're not that interested.
I share what I'm doing. As far as I know, none of them has found the channel. And it's like, it would be fine if they are watching it. At times, Matt says some things that are slightly unprofessional. And so I don't advertise the channel specifically to them.
People associate me with professionalism. I will have you know. When are you going to let Jen see the never-ending story, the Artex and the swamp of sadness? Yeah. Yeah, there's so many 80s things that she is so far behind on. It is just sad. And then I'd have to explain how not only did the never-ending story end, but then it had 2 sequels. The third one everybody forgets about. It's really bad. The rock giant, the like big calm one, was riding a rock trek while singing like Born to Be Wild.
I have definitely seen that.
You've seen that? Probably because I showed you the video making fun of it. Hello from the Netherlands. Hey, I really would like to go out there and hike. Let's see, book recommendations, Alaska Wilderness and Arctic Village by Robert Marshall. Hey, I listened to the entire Michener Alaska book while I was out here. That is pretty rare for me. I do not do nonfiction books very often. But Jen will make a note and look that one up. Do you bring firearms with you when you hike canoe long distances? No, never felt the need. I am a big believer in exiting the situation versus needing something like that. People also don't always realize how heavy those things are. I have been lectured by a priest in the middle of Florida about how going anywhere without a gun was a bad idea, but again, in our experience, they're not very necessary. The bad things happen very, very quickly, things either happen very, very quickly where you wouldn't be able to get to anything, like dog attacks. Even when I had dog spray, you couldn't really prevent them. Or else things that happen slower, I have much more confidence in being able to like talk my way out of them. Tennessee River covers 652 miles in 4 states. The question is, can you paddle it? Not all the rivers are paddleable, campable, and have resupplies. My college pet was a meat named Norm. It was a meat?
A meat. A mink?
Mink?
Maybe?
Newt.
Oh!
Meat, Nevada, Newt. A newt. He shot from
that's
BT.
cool.
Matt from your day hiking days. My brother in San Francisco just retired from the Navy, plans on spending time traveling in a camper. Are you familiar with the Nevada side of things? I've done a bunch of peaks out in Nevada. There's a lot of stuff out there. I mean, they have so many like P2K peaks There's a lot to do depending what you want if you're ready to be out there. I will say having a camper actually limits you in a lot of ways, but if he's willing to kind of like base camp and go around, you can get to more things. I would love to teach science with Jen on the Babo Kavari area.
Huh.
Does have some apartments for teachers. Yeah, but again, when you look at the benefits and the pay versus cost of living and everything, a lot of the places we would be okay with living, and I love New Mexico and Arizona, we couldn't afford to do the hikes that we do. Jen, you need to tell the stories. Would love to see his reaction. It's like, you're doing it wrong. She doesn't even like trying to tell them. She just like prompts me to tell them because I get all excited.
Yeah.
I grew up in Western Washington, lived in PA for 30 years. Reminding me of Western Washington. Holden forever. And the TV show was really good too. I love the casting on that one. They did a really good adoption on that. St. John's River. Yeah, we did the Turner River and we've done the Swanee. 341 miles, assuming it was passable and everything, that would be workable. It's just like, is it non-whitewater? What's the portage situation? You know, some of that tends to be kind of a challenge. Time to explore all the really good Japanese novels while you were there. Yeah, I don't know. Are there many that are like non-anime things that are translated into English?
I've never read any Japanese novels, but we're open to suggestions.
I mostly read like sci-fi or fantasy though. I mean, there is Shogun and a few things that I have on my list, but like translated fiction doesn't happen nearly as much. There's like The Witcher and Three Body Problem books that I've read. And they're cool concepts, but the translation always kind of messes with things a little. Does Hawaii have any hiking? We have some diving we want to do in Hawaii. I think the problem with Hawaii is the islands are expensive to get through. So you can day hike. I have some friends that did the volcanoes there, but I don't think it works for kind of one of those longer trips. If I was going to do an island sort of thing, Yap. I really want to do Yap. I can go meet with the schools. I can tell them about hiking. He's there!
Any bike packing trips? So... this is something that's on our radar, not for urgent, but Matt did get a bike that would work for bike packing.
A new bike, yeah, because I had a racing bike from before.
It's something we're interested in at some point, like the appeal that you get to cover longer distances, and just do like different type of traveling and trip that we've done before.
I did a brief period around 2005, 2006 where I did 12 and a half bike centuries in like 6 months. Ended up with the overuse injury somehow, unexplained. Nobody could have predicted that. And I loved it. I had a trouble with my knees after that, and I wasn't able to get back onto the bike, which is why I started hiking. I would love to do bike packing. Like I said, I ended up saving Patreon pennies and buying a bike, but then you need all the racks and everything else. And I was going to try and assemble things slowly, and then we had a couple of things happen, and yeah, the money that was supposed to go to that goes to just like keeping us on trail. So hopefully at some point, but yeah, there's a lot of those bags and racks and things are more expensive than you would think. Have you ever wanted to hike where Forrest Gump ran? I mean, I've been through a couple of those places. I did see a map of like where he went. There's this whole site that like tracks where people traveled in books and whatnot. There's not really much appeal to recreating a movie hike or anything like that. I just want to be out on something that is appealing. So, you guys did a short kayaking trip out west a while back. You're probably thinking of the Green River in Utah. Really cool. That's another we would repeat happily. We did it in spring. You can also do it in fall. It is just expensive. You got to we can drive out there, but then the rentals and everything. And next time we would do a canoe.
It was really, really pretty though, and highly accessible trip because the outfitters there, they'll set you up with everything. So I would really recommend that to anyone who wants to do like a week-long paddle trip.
Yeah, they will drop you off at the top, pick you up at the bottom, and you're just going with the current. And it had really cool camps. She liked a lot of them because it's really close to the water. The wind was challenging in a few places, but you've got good current. The bummer is that it's not longer. Our biggest thing on that is I forget how many days we did. You can look up the videos, but
like 8.
every day we would like run through the 24 miles or so we had, and then we'd have to stop. And all I wanted to do was keep paddling. It's kind of similar to this. I wish this trail was like this river was another 600 miles longer, because I just want to be able to go and not have to worry about running out of trail or river or anything. Speaking as an older guy, I would have been okay with lead shots that included Hey, I'm just filming forward. The Gatorade bottle was around. Besides, how do you know that was a pee bottle? Maybe that was just my lemonade Gatorade thing. Might want to check out the author Haruki Murakami. Okay, I don't recognize the name. I've read a bunch of random sci-fi and fantasy. I don't generally go that much outside of those two genres. If you're already hiking cross-country, bikepacking may be too fast of an experience. No, it wouldn't be too fast. It actually makes a lot of things a lot easier. Like we could do cross-country together if we were bikepacking. If I could snap my fingers and get us both like a set of bikes with all the gear, we would bump that way up the list. Because then, like if you need to camp on a bike, you can easily, bike over and find some open wilderness. I have some friends like Nanook who do it, and I'm envious of how much flexibility they have when camping versus for me, hiking 2 miles is a hard thing. But again, it's really expensive to get set up. But it would be cool to be able to spend a summer and go, Pacific to Atlantic back and forth. Moron does that all the time, and I'm very envious of those setup. Adventure Cycling Association. Yeah, Moron had sent me some notes on some of the routes and things. It's kind of like the cave grottos, though. I could sign up and join a lot of the things, but we don't have time. Are there any YouTubers that you follow and could recommend? I don't watch hiking videos. Every time I try, I just can't. Ryan George Pitch Meeting, she likes. I really like Secret Galaxy and Zero Punctuation. I have a bunch of random things that I watch. I still watch video game reviews because I still have this thing in my head that I'm the sort of person that sits around and can play video games, and yet I never get to play them. That's why I like Yahtzee. Secret Galaxy is really cool, though, because if you're around my age and you remember all these things from the 80s, like they do really solid, deep dive, but authentic videos on that stuff that I really enjoy it. Other YouTubers, Honest Trailers is kind of related to Pitch Meeting, same sort of thing. I used to be into Channel Awesome stuff a long time ago, but they all got more cringy than anything else.
Yeah, but we don't follow really any other like hikers on YouTube.
Yeah, like I said, it's more, I watch reviews and things like that, but not gear reviews, not hikers. You will love Japan. I've spent 2 months there this year. Melody Henry, more for personal reasons, never enough time to do it all. Jen, hopefully you can fly in and meet him. Unfortunately, she has this jorb thing, and they don't like when she's not at her jorb. Something about will take your retirement
a little long of a
away.
flight for just a weekend, unfortunately.
I tried. I'm like, well, could you come out for like Labor Day? But yeah, unfortunately. But when I was IT, it always felt like she had so much time off. And now that we're in this configuration, it's frustrating because yes, she gets the summer off, and that's awesome. I worked for 20 years. I never had a summer off, because I was going to school, working, etc. But she can't extend any weekend. So she can't take like Labor Day and just add a couple extra days. Teachers actually have a lot of restrictions on them that way. So yeah, sadly, I mostly tell myself, like with Australia, okay, I try and do trails that I think are less her thing. Like that's why I'm doing the Wales Coastal Path. She's less excited by that versus she would be very unhappy if I did the Yukon without her or something like that. And I figure if it's something like Australia where I find out how much I like it, then we can kind of like prioritize and I'll already kind of know what's going on. She's also been to Japan before, so we'll both have experience out in Japan. Wilmer, hello from a retired IT guy. Hey, I hear people actually retire sometimes. Not just kind of quit and embrace indigence. Hike the Ozarks. The Ozark Trail was on the short list. Almost did it last year. The problem is the Ozark Trail and the Ozark Highline don't connect. And they put out a story about how they were completing it, but it was basically just marketing. So yes, I would like to go there. It looks really pretty. That and the Ouachita is on the list. It's just when it fits in because I'm not going to blow an entire season for a little dinky 200-mile trail. And yes, I know how privileged that is. When I was in IT, it killed me to do the JMT. Like I was so worked up for the JMT, and now I'm like 211 miles. I work in the aeronautics, lots of bike tourists, extremely popular. I know people are set up with bike stuff all over. A lot of people have a different funding reality than us, though, and yeah, getting that initial setup. And if you're in a bike, like I can't just jump on any bike because of knee issues and how you have to fit on the bike. Trying to get a random bike on Rottnest did not go real well, for example. Matt, if you posted a wish list, I'd love to help. If you mean for the bike stuff, stuff like that, I mean, the stuff is really expensive and I don't have things fully researched. You know, like the bike I have is a Surly disc trucker, so I need like the racks on it. Then you look at bags, and then I, being me, start going, well, this one is a little more expensive, but it's bright orange. Oh, and then these are bright green. They would go really well with the bright green bike. Yes, I bought a bike that was bright green, mostly because of that. But there's just a lot of little stuff. How did the gorilla-shaped seat hold up? It worked. I was actually being lazy. The sticks eventually broke. I could have repaired it. I mean, Gorilla Tape can hold everything on. If she had been mauled by the grizzly bear, the Gorilla Tape was my first aid solution. You just kind of like wrap it around. I was kind of like gingerly leaning back into it, but worked really well. I was very glad that I added the Gorilla Tape. We threw the seat away. I never should have tried to do 2 trips with it. Should have just had the one. Thank you so much for never filming yourself walking down the trail away from the camera. Oh yeah, like the Jupiter special. I'm funny. You know the movie Deadpool where he's always addressing the camera and like breaking the fourth wall? All of that stuff just drives me nuts. PCT at one point, we were sitting there having a snack and there was that one couple. We saw them like go in front, set up the camera, and like they took several cuts of them walking away until they had like the right tempo for whatever they were doing. As near as I can tell, they did that every day. And I just can't help but see that. There is an Instagram account called Influencers in the Wild. And instead of showing the person like doing the dances like that, it shows like what they must look like in the airport with the filming person here and everything. And that's what I think every time I see somebody doing that. I know it's more interesting to see people walking away. Every now and then I get to, show Taters walking away when she's there. Jen does not use a Kula cloth. She has this weird thing. She doesn't like female pee technology. I know what it is. I think they make sense. It's her fault. What do you want, you know? Murkai won the World Fantasy Award if you like fantasy. Oh, okay. I'll look that up. Yeah, Jupiter hikes. Jupiter was the one that, he's the reason I found out about the ECT, and then I was kind of bitter at him because he maybe undersold some of the things because he tends to do like, I'm doing these artsy film sort of things. Him talking about walking through Florida, for example, was kind of BS. His videos, like he does a really good artsy job, but they just don't capture what it's like on trail. I remember seeing something from him by like what it's like to thru hike, and it's like artsy sunrise, yeah. It misses all the actual fun where you're like squatted over a cat hole with 80 bazillion flies on your inner thighs. Goob's Adventures just hiked the full country of Japan. I'll see every time I try and check other people's vlogs, I can't survive on them for longer than about like 30 seconds. I've tried, people talk about, oh, Dixie, this or that, and I look and I don't even make it 30 seconds.
Yeah, we'll check it out though. That might be helpful.
I meet people, I try and look at their videos, and I have friends I really like, and I can't even manage their videos. It's just, yeah. And the other thing is, like people will say, oh, you should contact this person. How I hike is different than a lot of other people. So I'm sometimes reluctant because if they're slackpacking or doing this or the other, or they're like staying in hostels, there was that New Hampshire lady from our year on the AT, like her version of the AT, very, very different from our version of the AT, but we'll look them up. Are your parents supportive of what you're doing? Jen's parents were on here and they seem to be supportive of at least Jen. They may disapprove of me. My parents are very supportive. My family thinks I'm a little bit crazy, but they also have kind of, there's something to be said for being happy about what you're doing and healthy, right? We all know people who have had a job that just drove them crazy to bad health and they had health issues. I've told the story a bunch of times how when I quit my job to go do the PCT, my doctor, I went in for a follow-up and the nurse tried to take my blood pressure and then took it again and then got a concerned look and walked out. And the doctor came in and I'm like, oh, that's not good. He takes it and I'm like, am I gonna live? I need to do the PCT. And it was so low that he was like, what did you do? Like, whatever diet you're on, tell me, this is amazing. And I'm like, I quit my job and I'm going to go hike across the country. And he's like, can I go with you? I have a nice doctor. So yes, they are supportive. My parents may have some concerns about my lifestyle choices, just coming from a more traditional of, you have a career and everything, but they've also kind of seen how we make this work. I do put a lot of work into the YouTube stuff. As a result, we do have the Patreon. We get a little bit of ad money, so it's enough to at least offset costs. So it's not like I'm just being completely indigent. I will be staying with them for about 2 weeks when I leave here before we go to before I go to Japan. So 2-hour Q&A. Yes, this is the problem. Like the last one we did, she made me stop after like an hour when I was just like, nah.
I am starting to fade here a little bit, so let's.
Well, yeah, she has to. We have to go.
We get to go cook stir fry.
Oh, but. Have you thought about the Andes or the Himalayas? Most of those things, I think about the more kind of. Thanks, Jeff and Laura. Andes or the Himalayas, I think about that. Like I have friends that have done the Everest base camp trek, and they're just a little too. It's like, what's the one in Africa, the Africa High Point? Kilimanjaro, where it's all like porters and guides, and I don't like that sort of thing. I like being out, I like doing things, I like carrying my own stuff. When we were in Bali once, we hiked a mountain, and you had to have a local porter, and like she kept getting after me because I was trying to hike, and the poor guy was like struggling to keep up with us in the dark, and then he really wanted my shoes. Like I want to be able to go out and do things, so if I can find something out in those areas that is affordable, suitably wilderness and all that, and seems like it would be cool, I'm all for going and doing it. I will go hike across the outback and pretty much anything else at this point, but it's like with the AT and the hostels. I need to know that I can do my style of trip. Notice that during COVID, my friends and I fell in love with the Appalachian Trail, watching YouTube during COVID, but my white friends scream, no one told us about this. Which is funny because the AT has the best marketing of any trail in existence.
In the White Mountains, I guess? In the Whites. No one told them about the Whites because it's like a very different section of the trail.
You know, that was funny because people are like, oh, the Whites are so bad. And like the far out comments were screaming about the descent from the Whites. And so we were like rushing over because of thunderstorms. I'm like, it's coming, Jen. It says the White, it's going to be so bad. The rocks are moving, and we're just like strolling along over like little rocks that were stable. And it's like, what the heck? We've done a lot of running around at high altitude in the Sierra on these moraines, which are these rock fields where things shift. You're hopping from rock to rock, having to jump as they shift. It's a whole thing. So yeah, we come to it from a different place with peak bagging.
And that's time.
Look up Chris Abroad. He likes to talk also. See, I don't like myself. I don't like how much I talk. It drives me nuts editing my own videos. What was that YouTube ad about boyfriend? Like, you get two and they fight to the death. Yeah, if you cloned me, I wouldn't get along with me. Wishing you both safe and relaxing. Thanks. I'm dreading the plane flights. I thought I was done with long plane flights because Utah was going to be easy. Had a whole plan. My parents were going to drive me from where they live in Canyon City out to Moab, no plane involved. Then I walk to San Francisco, she grabs me. Oh well, what's another 11 hours sitting on a plane? That'll be fun. Thanks, glad you enjoyed the QA. I will see about doing more of these. I do enjoy them. I always feel like I'm gonna go live and there's not gonna be anybody, so I'll just be sitting here going, hi, how's everybody? But then I babble on for 2 hours while you struggle to get a word in edgewise. Her biggest fear is that I'm just going to shut up someday and it's going to be all on her. She will go away for a weekend. She's like, I spent so much time, I recorded so much, and I get it, and it's like 2 minutes of footage. And 30 seconds of that is some marmot. Not even a super scenic marmot.
We're going to loop the cute marmot. Everyone's going to like it.
That one episode, she just wanted 27 minutes of mud flow. Like, only mud flow.
That mud flow was so cool.
That mud flow made me feel things deep down. Like in the morning when I drink coffee. Different. Does YouTube do 401k? How's the Roth going? Yeah, here's the thing. Leaving IT is probably better if you retire, hit it rich, something like that. Not just have your Social Security embezzled, but you know. If I get eaten by a bear in Japan, it won't matter. Plus, still has 2 kidneys. I think those can be sold in certain places. Hey, he's moved over here. He's moving into different windows. Pegmas Loop, we literally had to butt scoot down a waterfall. Yeah, I've had to do that. Threw my hiking poles down the waterfall. I'm careful about doing that because every now and then you throw your poles over something and then you realize you can't make it and then you're in trouble. Will we have videos of the crappie? Yeah, we do videos the entire time. Hey, when I have had to like exit a trail, I do videos about it. I'm not one that just kind of like stops and drops off.
We did compress the storm. We compressed 3 days into one video, so no one will need to sit through 3 days of it's still windy, we're still in the tent.
Remember the mud flow heat. Lots of that, yeah. We watched For All Mankind season 5 most of the entire season in like that 3-day period. So, yeah, we did hear from Emo that this was a very wet July, but that was from, hey, Cindy and Dennis. Hopefully you guys are still okay with me again. Sorry, changing. I felt so bad because I'm like, this Japan thing does actually make sense. Oh no, Dennis is going to kill me. Really appreciate the maps, all the awesome maps that are at the start of every episode. Dennis is the one that makes those and does an awesome job and is so patient when all of a sudden my plans go like here, here, here. Now I'm going to Australia. Now I'm going here. Yes, we do have to go in a couple of minutes. I don't know how you max out on this, but we're going to become 24/7 streamers, Blondie.
Oh gosh, no, don't know how people do that.
We can do TikTok videos of us eating.
No.
Her students do that, and it's driven her crazy. You do not want to see me eat. I inhale like a mountaineer. I go eating with like former coworkers, and they're like, "Are you starving?" What am I going to do now? Your trip's done. You're going to wait 2 weeks, and then you're going to have daily videos from Japan. I am in Japan for 80 days, so it is going to be longer than Australia, it turns out. Mike Thompson, congrats, thanks. And Jen, now you talk.
What?
What's on your mind?
I can't think of any more things. I'm all tapped out.
So Wednesdays, if you notice, she barely appears on video, and it's not that I don't want to film her. It is that she goes into like hangover mode. She's like, oh my God, I talked so much. I recorded myself for like 5 minutes.
I said, hey, I give it everything I got on Tuesday, and then I need a break on Wednesday.
You should see the number of glares I get because on Taters Tuesday, I'm over in the corner and I can't resist. Like I'm talking on camera and she's like, I'm like, you can talk, but you got to talk. We'll be in Canyon City. What's your Mexican restaurant recommendation? You know, I don't remember the one. There's only like 2 of them there. The one that I really liked was actually over in Salida, which is a little bit away. It's the one that we went to when I was on the CDT. My parents don't like going out to eat too much. There is a good Thai place and a decent Indian place there also, though. If you message me somewhere else, I can pull up what the Mexican food restaurant was, but it was like a normal chain comfort Mexican food. That's what I always want. Look forward to more of your adventures. Enjoy the adventures. Mudflow was awesome. Wish I had a video of the whirlpool. I don't think that whirlpool was actually much of a thing. A lot of that stuff gets exaggerated. So, yeah, I kind of wish we had gone there too, but it was a big river and we were a little worried about conditions there. How many more Yukon videos? I think day 60 is the last one, but one day is 3 days. Keep it going if you don't add to your retirement. Yeah, but I mean, it's a balancing act. As long as I don't spend a bunch of money going to Iceland and hiking like that much, we're going to try and keep this going. What's the biggest obstacle you've had as a couple on trail? Probably me or her lack of bathing. Are you connecting footsteps on the ADT? Yes. How long was Australia? 60 days, 57, 60 days. So Japan's longer because I don't have to be back until Thanksgiving and we can be there. I can be there for 90 days, so might as well. So if I finish early, my plan is to go do some additional things, but we will see. We got a movable ticket. Jen should be more confident about her presentation skills. Hey, she is awesome teaching in the wilderness class when she's teaching a topic. She's very confident. She has everything organized versus me where I'm like, pew, pew. Oh, look, hey, have you met Peepers? Look at his jacket. Like I'm wandering around over here. You have no idea how many random tangents I have cut from videos because I'm like, maybe we didn't need 7 minutes on some random 80s topic, but yeah.
He does actually cut things, believe it or not.
Yeah.
The stuff you see is just what actually makes it past the first cut.
You love Mexican police forever, yeah. Okay, will there be videos of Jen's weekend trips during the school year? Somebody has tried to push her to do that, has said that a lot. So I was always happy to edit them. And
I'll
the lack,
see if I can find some marmots to video.
And then she goes to Utah for a week and you get like 14 minutes. Versus I'm like, that would have been like 300 minutes for me. Let's see. So yes, hopefully, but everybody should harass her. Thank you so much for spending the time with us. What? You only talk. Jen is the greatest. Really enjoyed the Yukon. Thanks. Okay, folks, I'm going to get out of here before I keep answering questions. We are going to get food. We have to see what outfit Peepers gets for Japan. So see, this is like a koozie from Puffin. One more topic, very important. And I'm like, this will fit Peepers. Like, I'd been looking at these, but there were two I couldn't decide because the other one matched us. So I did the logical thing, bought both. And she's like, you're returning one or both of those. Instead, I took them to the wilderness class, and literally our feedback for the class involved Peepers' outfits were great. So Peepers got to keep both.
Really
yes.
like the Peepers outfits.
Because it's like we're talking about a serious subject, like how to get eaten by bears, and I just like have Peepers there in the corner. And I mean, he does have the little Kauai shirt that Jen made him, so yeah. Okay, we gotta go. See you guys. We'll hopefully do more of these later.